In this video, we're going to solve paper 2 of the May-June 2019 session, and this is paper 2 variant 2. So let's get straight to it. So here we have question number 1, which says the table below shows the cost to visit a zoo. On 30th April, Mr. and Mrs. Fergio and their 3 children aged 12, 8 and 3 visit the zoo. What is the total cost for the family? Alright, so let's work this out, and we're going to do that with the help of the table that's provided to us. So we have basically 2 adults. So their ticket is going to be priced at $26 each. So for Mr. and Mrs. Fergio, their ticket, as I said, is going to be $26 each. So we're going to take 2 and multiply it by 26. So that's going to be equal to $52. And then they have children aged 12, 8 and 3. So for 12 and 8, they're going to fall in this category. So again, we have 2 children in this category. So we're going to multiply 2 by 15.5. So let's see what that is equal to. And then we have, actually let's work this out right now. That's going to be equal to 31. And then whoever's under 5 is free. So the child who is 3 years old is obviously going to be free to enter. So 2 plus 1 is equals to 3 and 5 plus 3 is equals to 8. So the total cost is $83. Alright, let's work out part B, which says in May the cost for a child is not changed. The cost for an adult is reduced by P% to 22.10. Okay, so the cost from $26 has now been reduced to 22.1. So let's see what is that equal to. So what we can do is, we know that the original cost, which is $26, is basically going to be equal to 100%. Now let's work out the change in price. So we can work out the change in price by taking 26 and from 26 subtracting 22.1. So let's see what is that equal to. Since this is paper 2, we can use a calculator. So this is equal to 3.9. So $3.9. So there has been a decrease of $3.9. So basically you and I want to work out what this $3.9 is equal to in terms of percentage. Basically we want to work out the percentage reduction. So we're going to place 3.9 here and we're going to place X here. X%, of course. So let's cross multiply and see what do we get. So 100 times 3.9, 100 times 3.9 divided by 26. So that gives us 15. So our answer is equal to 15%. So that means there has been a 15% decrease in the price of a ticket for an adult. Okay, now the question says, in May, the Fergie family visit the zoo again. Calculate the percentage reduction in the total cost from April to May. Okay, now let's read part B again just in case. So part B says, in May the cost for a child is not changed, but the cost for an adult is reduced by P%. Okay, so that means that our new table will look like this. The price for an adult is going to be 22.1. the price for a child, who is basically from 5 to 16, so 5 to 16 is going to be the same, and that's going to be 15.5. Yep, that's going to be 15.5. And whoever is less than 3 is going to be free. So less than 3 is going to be free of cost. Okay, now how many adults do we have? We have 2 adults again. So 2 times 22.1 for that. And how many children do we have? We have 2 children again. So that's going to be equal to 2 times 15.5. That's going to remain the same as the previous one. And the child is going to be, the child who is 2, I believe, 3, sorry, is going to be enter the zoo free of cost. So 2 times 22.1 is going to be 44.2. So that's 44.2. And 2 times 15.5 is going to stay the same at 31. Yep, 0.0 to make the addition easier. 4 plus 1 is 5 and 4 plus 3 is 7. So that means now the total cost is 75.2. To find percentage reduction, the formula that we will use is the difference between new and old divided by the old value multiplied by 100. Now if you recall the old price, that's equal to 83. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 83 minus 75.2 divided by the old price, which is also 83, multiplied by 100. Now since this is a paper 2 question, I'm just going to use my calculator to calculate this, and the final answer correct to 3 significant figures is going to be 9.40. So 9.40 is going to be my final Now let's do part C. Now part C, by the looks of it, is a question that is related to time. Now let's read the question. The Fergie family arrived at the zoo at 10:50 a.m. They stayed at the zoo until 4:25 p.m. Alright. How long in hours and minutes did they spend at the zoo? Okay, so what we'll have to do is, theoretically, we'll have to subtract the time at which they left, and from this we'll have to subtract the time at which they arrived. But straight away the problem is that we have one of them is in PM and the other is in AM. So the first thing we'll have to do is we'll have to convert both of them into 24 hours, just so that addition, or just so that subtraction is easy for us. So as far as 10:50 AM is concerned, 10:50 AM in 24-hour clock will look the same, and we'll just remove the AM part. But as far as 4:25 PM is concerned, so 4:25 PM in 24-hour clock, what we're going to do is we're going to add 12 to it. So adding 12 to 425 is going to give us 1625. So theoretically what we have to do is we have to take 1625, and from it we'll have to subtract 1050. Now we can't do that straight away. The problem is you can't subtract 50 from 25, so that's fine. We're going to add 60 to 25, and we're going to decrease the hour by 1. So we're going to have 1585, and from it we're going to subtract 1050, which we can now very conveniently. So 85 minus 50 is going to be 35, and 15 minus 10 is going to be 5. So we have 5 hours and 35 minutes. So that was that. Let's do the next part. The next part says the zoo holds daily shows about different animals. Okay, the Fergie family go to as many shows as they can during their visit. Each show lasts 35 minutes. How many minutes do they spend at these shows? Okay, so what we have to do here is, first of all, let's see the time at which they arrive. So they arrive at the zoo at 10:50 a.m. So that means they missed the giraffe show, but they made it in time for the rhino show. And they're going to leave at 4:25. So that means when they leave at 4:25, obviously they're not going to be able to see the crocodile show. So we're going to cross this. So that means the last show that they're going to see is the lemur show. So how many shows are these? These are 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can see a total of 4 shows, and each show, according to the question, lasts 35 minutes. So if I want to work out the total time, the total number of minutes they spend, I'm going to simply multiply 35 by 4. So 35 times 2 is 70, and 70 times 2 is 140. An easy way to multiply any value by 4 is to simply double it first and then double the resulting value. Okay, so I hope everything's clear up till now, and let's move forward. Okay, so here we have question number 2, which we can see is related to a scatter plot, since we have to complete the scatter diagram. So let's see what the question says. It says that the first 8 points have been plotted for you. So that means till August they have been plotted, and we have to plot the remaining 4 points. Alright, so we can do that. That's no big deal. So we begin by plotting the September one, which means that the temperature in Sydney, let's see, Sydney is on the x-axis and Tokyo obviously is going to be on the y-axis. So 1623. Alright, let's mark that. So 16 is going to be, let's see, 2 blocks for 1 unit. So this is going to be 16, and 23. So 23 is going to be here. So 16 and 23. Let's see, 16 and 23. There you go. This is 16, 22.5. So that's one value, and the other is 18 and 18. This should be relatively easier to plot, I guess. So this is going to be 17.5, since it's halfway between 15 and 20, and right after that is going to be 18. So 18 and 18. So that's got to be somewhere here. Yeah. And 20 and 12. 20 and 12. So that's got to be here. And then finally 21 and 8. So 21's got to be here, and then 8 is going to be 1 block above 7.5. So that's going to be here. Okay. So now that we have all the points, the next part says to describe the type of correlation. Well, the correlation, if we look at the points, we can see that this is a negative correlation. As the temperature in Sydney is increasing, the temperature in Tokyo is decreasing. So we're going to write negative correlation here. Okay, the next part, we have to draw a line of best fit. So ideally, line of best fit, by the way, line of best fit requires a lot of trial and error, so don't expect to get it right in the first attempt. So basically the best line of best fit is going to be the one in which the points lying above the line of best fit is equal to the points lying below the line of best fit. If that happens to be the case, that means our line of best fit is an ideal line of best fit. So let's try it out. Actually, let's use a different color. Let's use the color blue. Okay, let's try this out. Let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points lying below, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points lying above. Okay, so if I bring this down slightly, let's see what's the case now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, this should do it. So this right here is a line of best fit. Now remember, there is a certain margin of error, so you can have multiple answers to it. Alright, so that part, the line of best fit part is done. Okay, now the question says, the following year the average temperature in Sydney during May was 15 degrees Celsius. By using your line of best fit, estimate. So see, the question here is asking us to estimate, and we're going to estimate using our line of best fit. That means our answer is obviously not going to be an accurate answer. It is going to be an estimate as close as possible to the original answer. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to look at 15 degrees Celsius on the x-axis, since that's where Sydney is plotted, and we're going to have to check out the corresponding y value. Alright, so let's do that. Let's switch to the color green. Yeah, that should do it. So here we have 15. Let's go all the way up till we reach our line of best fit. So here we are. Now let's see where are we in Tokyo. So this is going to be 21, and since it's a block above 21, so this is going to be 21.5. So our estimate is that it is going to be 21.5 degrees Celsius in Tokyo during that time, during May basically. Alright, so now we are at question number 3, which says that we have to represent the inequality from -3, x is greater than -3, lesser than or equal to 2. So greater than -3 means that we're going to have a hollow circle here, and at 2 we're going to have a circle, but we're going to have a circle that we're going to fill, and we're going to connect these two with the help of a straight line. I should probably drag the circle down a little, and there you go. Okay, so that's done. Let's do part B, which says find the 3 inequalities which define the shaded region in the diagram. Okay, so we're going to start by finding out the equation of each line. So an ideal way to do this would be to first number your lines so that you don't end up confusing yourself. So when we're talking about line 1 is the x-axis, and we all know that the equation of the x-axis is y is greater than, is y is equal to 0. But the region that we want is above the x-axis, so that means it's going to be y is greater than or equal to 0. Now the reason why I'm using greater than or the reason why I've put an equal to sign as well is because that we have a solid line instead of a dotted line. Now let's talk about line number 2. The equation is going to be x equals to 4. Now since the region I want is on the left hand side, so the inequality that we're going to use is x is lesser than or equal to 4. Now let's talk about line 3. Now line 3 is a sloping line. That means what I'll have to do is I'll have to first work out the gradient. So I'm going to use 2 points. One of them is of course going to be 0, 0. It's the origin. And the other is going to be 4, 2. I can see that the y-intercept is 0. So that means the value of c is going to be 0. So let's work out the gradient, however. 2 minus 0 over 4 minus 0. So that's 2 upon 4, which once simplified is going to be 1 upon 2. So y is equals to half x plus c. Now c is 0, so I'll just ignore that. And there you have it. This is the equation. Now the region that we want, the shaded region, is below the line. So it is going to be y is lesser than or equal to half x. So there we have it. Question number 3, part B is solved. Now let's do part C. So we're going to do it step by step. First we're going to have to solve, actually we don't have to do it step by step. What we can do is, since we have to get rid of the 4 here, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to divide all the 3 sides by, all the 3 regions you can say, by 4. So minus 12 divided by 4 is minus 3. We've gotten rid of m here, so we just have m minus 2 here, and 10 divided by 4 is going to be, if you wish to write it in fraction, it's going to be 5.2. If you wish to write it in decimal, it is going to be 2.5. Now we have to get rid of this minus 2, so I'm going to add 2 to all 3 values. So there you go, minus 3 plus 2 is going to be minus 1, m minus 2 will just become m, and minus 2.5 plus 2 is going to be 4.5. So there you have it, m is greater than or equal to minus 1, less than 4.5. So there you go, that's done. Okay, let's do question 4. Let's see what question 4 is related to. It is related to triangles, a bit of trigonometry of course, and polygons as well. Okay, so let's see. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find x, and we have to give reasons for each step in our working. Alright, that shouldn't be too difficult. So we start by looking at this value, which is 110. Okay, so if this value is 110 and we know that these two lines are parallel, so let's see how is that going to help us. So we can work out what this angle is going to be, and this angle, because of corresponding angles, will also be equal to 110. Now as you can see, these two lines, these two marks basically mean that this is an isosceles triangle, which further means that these two angles, actually let's not call them x since that's already been used, let's call them a, are going to be the same. So 110 plus a is going to be equal to 180. 2a is going to be equal to 180 minus 110, which is 70. So a is going to be equal to 35. Now why have I worked out the value of a, and how is this going to help me find out the value of x? Well, it's going to help me by, since this is a straight line, so if I want the value of x, I can simply subtract it from 180. So 180 minus 35 is going to give me 145. Now I've solved this, but remember the question categorically wants us to give reasons for each step in our working. So we're going to start off by saying that angle AEB is equal to 110, and the reason for this is that these are corresponding angles. So I'll just write corresponding angles, and then we're gonna say that angle EAB is the same as angle EBA, and the reason for that is because it is an isosceles triangle. So these are the two reasons, and you have to write this in order to score full marks in this particular question. Now the question says, given that EB is equals to 12 centimeter, alright, so let's place it here. This is 12 centimeter. Let's use a different color actually. So here we have 12 centimeter, and DC is equals to 20 centimeter. Okay, and with the help of the, actually since this is 12, remember this is also going to be 12 because of isosceles triangle, and with the help of this we have to find out what ED is equals to. Alright, so since we have a pair of parallel lines, so that means these two triangles are going to be similar. Let me tell you what triangles are going to be similar. Basically triangle AEB is going to be similar to triangle ADC. Okay, so with the help of this we're going to make a ratio. We're going to say that AE is upon AD is going to be equal to EB upon DC, which is further going to be equal to AB upon AC. Okay, so let's copy this and copy, and let's paste this here. Okay, now we're going to start placing our values. So AE is something that we know is 12 because of isosceles triangles. We're going to write 12 here. So AE is equals to 12 because of isosceles triangle. There you go. So we're going to write 12 here. Actually, we're going to write 12 here, sorry. So 12 upon AD. Let's see if we have AD. No, we don't have AD, so we're just going to write it as AD only. EB. EB according to the question is also 12 upon DC, which according to the question is equal to 20. So if I cross multiply, actually I don't even have to cross multiply, these two 12s will get cancelled out, and we're going to have AD is equal to 20 centimeter. Now at this point I should tell you not to get carried away, because we've only figured what AD is equals to, which is 20 centimeter, and the question is asking us to figure out what ED is equals to. I'm sure you can do this now, and AD is going to be equal to 20 minus 12. So let's write that here, 20 minus 12, which is going to be equal to 8 centimeter. So there you go. Let's do part B, and let's see what shape do we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a pentagon. If you want to work out the sum of interior angles of a pentagon, so we're going to do 5 minus 2. 5 is the number of sides multiplied by 180. So that should give you 540. So 540 is going to be the sum of all these angles. So 540 is equals to A plus 110 plus 80 plus 130 plus 3A. So I'm going to use a calculator. Actually, first let's add A and 3A. So that's going to be equal to 4A. Oh, sorry, not 5. 4A. So let's find out what 110 plus 180 plus 130. Sorry, 110 plus 80 plus 130 is equals to, that's equal to 320. So 540 minus answer divided by 4. So A is equals to 55, and that's exactly what the question's asking us to find out. Okay, with that done, let's do part C. Let's see what it says. It says P, Q, R, and S are vertices of a regular polygon. So 1, 2, 3. So it's a regular polygon, so that means all these lines are going to be equal to 14. M is the midpoint of PR, alright. And let's see what the question says. And QM is equals to 7. Okay. And how many sides has the polygon? Show your working. Alright. So I can work out the number of sides once I have the angle. So if I want to find out what the angle is, I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this triangle, and I'm going to first find out what this angle is. And once I have this angle, I'll just double it, so I'll have the entire angle. Alright, so I'm just going to draw this triangle separately. So here's my 90-degree angle. This is the angle that I want to find. Let's call this X. This is 14 and this is 7. So I have the adjacent length and I have the hypotenuse length. That means I'll have to use cos. So cos X is equals to 7 upon 14. Cos X is equals to half. X is going to be equal to cos inverse of half. So let's see what is that equal to. So cos inverse of half is equal to 60. So X is equals to 60. Now let's not get carried away. Remember, our entire angle, each interior angle of this polygon is going to be equal to 120 degrees. So if you want to work out what polygon has each interior angle as 120, here's the formula that you're going to use. Each interior angle is calculated by n minus 2 multiplied by 180 upon n, and this is equal to 120. So 180n minus 360 is equals to 120n. So let's see what is this going to be equal to. 180 minus 120 is going to be 60n is equals to 360. Is that correct? Yep, that's correct. So n is going to be equal to 360 divided by 60, so that's equal to 6. So that means this polygon has 6 sides, or in short, it's a hexagon. So that's how you're going to solve this question.